The Shirt by Robert Pinsky. The back, the yoke, the yardage. Lap seams, the nearly invisible stitches along the collar, turned in a sweatshop by Koreans or Malaysians, gossiping over tea and noodles on their break, or talking money or politics, while one fitted this armpiece, with its overseam to the band of cuff, a button at my wrist. The presser, the cutter, the wringer, the mangle, the needle, the union, the treadle, the bobbin, the code. The infamous blaze at the Triangle Factory in 1911. 146 died in the flames, on the 9th floor. No hydrants, no fire escapes. The witness in a building across the street, who watched how a young man helped a girl to step up to the windowsill, then held her out, away from the masonry wall, and let her drop. And then another, as if he were helping them up to enter a streetcar, not eternity. A third, before he dropped her, put her arms around his neck and kissed him. Then he held her into space and dropped her. Almost at once, he stepped to the sill himself. The jacket flared and fluttered up from his shirt as he came down, air filling up the legs of his gray trousers, like Hart Crane's bedlamite, shrill shirt ballooning. Wonderful! How the pattern matches perfectly, across the placket and over the twin bar-tacked corners of both pockets, like a strict rhyme or a major chord. Prints, plaids, checks, houndstooth, tattersall, madras, with clan tartans invented by mill owners inspired by the hawks of ocean, to control their savage Scottish workers, tamed by fabricated heraldry. MacGregor, Bailey, McMartin. The kilt, devised for workers to wear among the dusty, clattering looms. Weavers, carders, spinners. The loader, the docker, the navvy. The planner, the picker, the sorter, sweating at her machine in a litter of cotton, as slaves in calico head-rags sweated in fields. George Herbert, your descendant is a black lady in South Carolina. Her name is Irma, and she inspected my shirt. Its color and fit and feel and its clean smell have satisfied both her and me. We have called its cost and quality down the buttons of simulated bone, the buttonholes, the sizing, the phasing, characters printed in black on neckband and tail, the shape, the label, the labor, the color, the shade, the shirt. This poem, written by former poet laureate and founder of the Favorite Poem Project, Robert Pinsky, discusses the story of the shirt and its origins. His ample use of imagery delivers the very birth of the shirt. Many hands of Koreans and Malaysians move busily with needles in hand, stitching collar to the body of the shirt, assembling the form into its end product, which is then taken ransom from the sweatshops to consumerism. Human subjects such as the presser and the cutter are connected smoothly into inanimate objects such as the mangle, the needle, the treadle, and the bobbin, with the word wringer, which can work both as a type of worker or thing. The words union and code suggest a transition to society as the poem then zooms out from the focus of the common shirt's origin to the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. The year is 1911. The infamous fire swallows the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory building in New York. And like the poem says, 146 died in the flames, as victims of an ignorant society that provided but bucketfuls of water in defense of a monstrous blazing beast. Most of the 600 workers in the factory, which took up the top 3 floors of the 10-story building, were young immigrant women. The brutal death of these women is revived with Pinsky's lucid diction, almost as if to use this burnt mark of history to bring up a political question. One interesting thing here is that the man who helps the girls out of the building overshadowed with the firefighters who also lost their lives in the 2001 terrorist attack. The next stanzas also continue the shirt's history as the reader is taken further up the stream of history to the cotton plantations. Here one can easily sense another bloody mark in history, slavery in southern plantations. However, Pinsky turns his back away from history and its exploitations and instead recites the polishing details of a shirt. Each shirt is finished through an assembly line of workers who make the buttonholes, do the sizing, attach the label, and add a shade of color. The words labor and color take the reader back to the issue of racism and relentless labor. The metaphors also describe the efforts that are put into creating a single shirt. Such meticulous attention to detail emphasizes Pinsky's appreciation for earthly beginnings. The rhythm of the poem, which is created almost forcefully throughout the use of endowment, as seen here and here and here, and almost throughout the whole entire poem, makes this poem rather a story than a poem, if not for the deepness of its meaning. This mimics the rhythm of the workplace where the shirt is passed through a long assembly line. Each long hours under the sun is transported into the reckless factory of flames. Each finished product is taken into an Asian sweatshop and then finally the closet of a consumer unaware of the shirt's weary journey. Each hand that took part in the process of making the shirt is connected with teeth. The burning passion of each contributor with the sweatshops, the giant shirtwaist factory fire, and the sweat-soaked calico head rags. And each shirt is the product of such endeavor and consumerism, the perfect irony of the present born from the past. The use of alliteration, assonance, and consonants also creates a sense of rhythm, phonic unity. The back and the yoke in the first line of the poem and flared and fluttered are some examples. This poem also contains quite a few S's and T's, which make this poem sound both feminine and masculine at the same time, with alternations between soft and harsh sounds. Another thing this poem tends to do is use words with long vowel sounds together, creating a strong and memorable tone. I think that with his poem, Mr. Pinsky makes the reader realize the beauty of process and need of appreciation. We easily ponder over the results which we have in hand, forgetting about what we had to overcome to come so far to achieve a certain goal. For me, especially after my experience in cross-country and adjusting to Korea after 12 years in California, it has become obvious to believe in the steps we have to take to reach the next story in life rather than the one outcome that is derived from those many steps. And I think that's what makes this poem really so special to me.